We're playing a game called Who's the Better Entrepreneur. So my team is gonna give me 2 different entrepreneurs to choose from, and I'm gonna tell you who I think is the better business person, but you can play along as well in the comments.
Sophia Amoruso or Steve Jobs?
Ooh, okay, I really like Sophia, but I definitely am gonna go with Steve Jobs on this one. I really love stories about entrepreneurs that take their company back. So after Apple kicked him out, he went and launched another company called Next. And then they were like, please come back, we're struggling, we need you back, boo-hoo. And he was like, okay, I will come back, but you gotta buy my other company that I started, and then I'll come back. And then he came back and he launched all kinds of cool products. Like, remember that Mac that had the back with the color on it that we used? I used it in school. And then also the Think Different campaign, which was very swaggy. So I'm definitely going with Steve Jobs on this one.
Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg?
Okay, it's kind of like a question of who built the biggest giant. The Facebook ads platform is one of the biggest in the world. Is that bigger than Apple? Yeah, I think it is, because I feel like Apple is a very US centric product. If you look at market share, Google's got the majority of it. I'm going with Mark Zuckerberg. I love the way that he's acquired a bunch of other companies. He bought Instagram, he bought WhatsApp, and he's built this humongous advertising portfolio, so I'm definitely going with him.
Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates?
They're both pretty phenomenal fast followers. So a fast follower is someone who copies something that someone else does and then implements it usually better. They don't come up with it. And Mark Zuckerberg definitely didn't come up with the Facebook concept, right? MySpace already existed. He just put his own little spin on it for college students. And Bill Gates didn't invent a lot of the technology that he ran with either. In fact, Apple was first to market. I think I'm gonna go with and stick with Mark Zuckerberg on this one.
Mark Zuckerberg or Elizabeth Holmes?
Is this a real question? I like a good fake it till you make it. It takes some of that, right? It takes a little bit of that. Elizabeth Holmes took it too far and it went into fraud territory. What I do like that Elizabeth Holmes kind of stepped into was this, I call it white boy confidence, right? Maybe you don't have all the credentials, but you're just confident anyway. I do like that. So I give her props for that, but I still gotta go with Mark on this one.
Mark Zuckerberg or Sam Bankman-Fried?
Okay, I have to do the same answer. Again, we're in fraud territory, so I feel once you really fuck it up as an entrepreneur publicly in front of everybody, you don't really get to be on the list. So Mark Zuckerberg again.
Mark Zuckerberg or Jeff Bezos?
Oh, I really like Jeff Bezos. I like a lot about how he runs his company, right? They're very frugal, or they started out very frugal. There's all these funny stories about them taking off doors and using them as desks because they didn't want to spend extra money on desks. And a lot of entrepreneurship is being frugal and making a lot with what you got. I also have a lot of respect for someone like Mark Zuckerberg created something digitally. Jeff Bezos created a whole ecosystem of people delivering things all over the country and the world. In terms of tasks to complete, that's a way bigger one. So I give more props to Jeff Bezos on that one.
Jeff Bezos or Whitney Wolfe?
Jeff Bezos. I mean, Bumble is cool. Bumble is cool. I like it, but it doesn't beat the magnitude of the Amazon ecosystem. The other thing I really love about Amazon is it's not just about packages and e-commerce. 60% of their profit comes from Amazon Web Services, which is essentially if you're an engineer, let's say you want to build an app, a software engineer, and you don't want to have a whole room full of servers, you can rent Amazon servers to run and power your software. So I love the way that he's diversified. That's a massive undertaking. So I'm going with Jeff.
Jeff Bezos or Oprah Winfrey?
Oh, I like Oprah. Oprah feels likable to me. It's nice to see the empire that a Black woman has built. That's inspiring to me. But I think in terms of magnitude of who's a better entrepreneur, I'm going with Jeff again.
Jeff Bezos or Sarah Blakely?
Oh. Sarah Blakely did a really great job bootstrapping the business, right? She sold that company for over $1 billion and didn't raise any money at all, which is a huge thing to do. That's a huge task. Because the thing is people raise money and then they own a teeny tiny percentage of the company now, and they got totally diluted and kicked out. I know Sarah is known for really owning her company. Okay, this is a hard one. I'm gonna go with Sarah. I have like as a bootstrapper, I have like a love for bootstrappers, and I know how hard it is to start from like not having a lot of resources and still own the majority of your company. So I'm gonna go with Sarah because I know she owned a lot more and kept it.
Sarah Blakely or Adam Neumann?
Oh man, people shit so hard on Adam Neumann. I like Adam Neumann a lot. Like, there's a lot of delusional stuff going on there, but like, that's what it takes. Like, every high performer is a little delusional. Why am I so partial to the delusion? I like the delusion. WeWork did not ultimately do well financially. Like, they had all kinds of like, we fell apart crisis. But does not ever falling apart make you a worse entrepreneur? What's bolder, having like workspace locations all over the world or like shapewear? I'm gonna pick Adam.
Adam Neumann or Martha Stewart?
Oh, did you see the Netflix documentary on Martha Stewart? I didn't know how I felt about it. Like, it was like inspiring and kind of made me sad at the same time. I'm really obsessed with the way that she's like really rebranded herself too. Like, my dad called me when that show came out with her and Snoop Dogg, and like the fact that my father knows about what Martha Stewart is doing, like she's doing something right on the branding. I'm picking Adam.
Adam Neumann or Kylie Jenner?
Kylie, definitely going with Kylie. I also like Kylie. I often think, like, when I see the moves that the Kardashian Jenners have made, sometimes I think like, oh, that wasn't their move, like somebody else helped them with the move, so like I give them less credit for it. But I think everybody on this list, they have a whole team of people who give them ideas and help them with stuff. I also think she did a really good job knowing when to get out of the business. Like, timing is so important in business, and so she, like, 4 years into launching the business, sold 51% of the business to Cody. So she was like, you guys have this portfolio. Here, I'm gonna get out now. I did my part, I'm out. But I'm gonna keep like minority stake, keep like a little less than half, but like here's the majority stake. I think like you gotta know when to get out. So I really admire her for that. I'm going with Kylie.
Kylie Jenner or Reed Hastings?
Okay, I gotta go with Reed because Netflix is a cultural phenomenon and has like completely changed the way that we consume content. And I think the pivot from like DVDs to, okay, now we're gonna be a streaming platform is a massive pivot. It's hard to get everybody on your team to be like, we were going this way and now we're gonna completely turn around and go another direction. I really admire being able to pivot, so I'm going with Reed.
Reed Hastings or Richard Branson?
Richard Branson has a bunch of businesses. Like, there's Virgin Airlines, but there's also like other Virgin spinoffs. There's like hotels and all kinds of stuff. I really like Richard Branson's origin story about how he started his airline. He was like on a flight to the British Virgin Islands and it got canceled. So he like took a sign and put the sign up that like there was a flight that he was gonna be chartering, and like held the sign around, got people to pay for a flight that he didn't even have coordinated yet. And then once he had people on board, went to go charter a plane, and like that was the start of the airline. So there's a good level of scrappiness there. I'm going with Richard for the scrappiness.
Richard Branson or Pinky Cole?
I like Pinky Cole. There's been all kinds of like drama about what's going on with her business lately and how like she let it go and then bought it back. But I think I gotta go with Richard Branson. That's like a massive empire he's got there.
Richard Branson or Ariana Huffington?
Ariana Huffington has an interesting story. I think like it's interesting to hear how she started the business, but I think it's even more interesting how she left the business. She stepped down. She was like, I'm burnt out. I don't want to do this anymore. And I think knowing when to exit, we were talking about timing earlier, knowing when to exit is so important. Like, look at Elon Musk. Like, he doesn't know when to stop it. So I kind of think that like knowing when to get out, that is an admirable skill set. But I think in terms of like cool, interesting business and entrepreneurship moves, I gotta stay with Richard.
Richard Branson or Elon Musk?
Oh. Okay, I gotta separate the business person from the person. just as like a business person and like an innovator, because like there's a lot of different stages of a business, right? There's like the innovation and then there's the running the thing that's already working. I feel like Elon is a good innovator, but not the best just running and focusing on the thing that's already working. But I'm also like that. Like I'm really good at starting things, but not really good at just like consistently doing the same thing over and over again. So I'm evaluating people on like their area of the business they're best at. Elon Musk has done some really incredible things. Like Tesla is a really interesting, groundbreaking car that he's really brought to market and popularized. I actually think, I don't drive because I feel like all cars look the same, but I think the only car I would ever drive is a Cybertruck. I would. I think it's cool. It looks different. I value different. I think also the way he multitasks on a bunch of different businesses, like that is him taking his probably ADHD and leaning into it, which like sometimes you gotta lean into what you got. He's not forcing himself to not be himself. He's like, listen, this is my craziness. I'm gonna lean into it. I like Elon. I'm going with Elon.
Elon Musk or Rihanna?
I gotta go with Elon Musk. I don't know that much about Rihanna's like business moves. Like obviously I know that she moved from having like recording records to Savage, it's Fenty? Fenty is like the whole business, right? There's like Savage X Fenty and a bunch of others. I don't know that much about like her as a businesswoman though. Like I wish I knew more. I gotta go with Elon just cause like I don't know that much.
Elon Musk or Gwyneth Paltrow?
Oh Lord. Okay. I think that Goop is really great for like a specific target demo. I'm just not the target demo, but I think it's really interesting. Actually, no. She did a series of shows on Netflix that I actually really liked, so I like that media spinoff. I gotta go with Elon on this one.
Elon Musk or Sergey Brin?
Sergey, definitely Sergey. Sergey Brin is the co-founder of Google. He's like the less known one because Larry Page is like the CEO and out there publicly. When I worked at Google, I would see Sergey like riding around on his scooter and like he's just kind of like the mad scientist of Google. So he launched a bunch of stuff. Essentially what he does is he just comes up with random things to try and some of them are wins and some of them are complete flops. He did self-driving cars, that has worked really well. If you go to like San Francisco, you see them, you see Waymo. He did Google Earth, that's worked really well. It's like integrated into our maps. He did Google Fiber and got like a new format of internet everywhere. And there's also a bunch of projects that he tried that flopped as well. But he just like takes shot on goal over and over again at weird, funky stuff. And I think that's my like dream role as a CEO. And he also knew that like, he didn't want to stay on the board. He didn't want to stay in this formal role. He also had his timing and knew when to back off and be like, I'm just going to be in the lab doing weird stuff. So definitely Sergey. He's probably my favorite out of everybody on this list. So those are my favorite entrepreneurs, but I would love to hear from you. Like, did I misrate anybody? Any information y'all have about some of these entrepreneurs I need to factor into my decision? I'd love to hear.